Good morning. It's day 6. I love hiking through this misty fog in the morning. It's so beautiful to me. It's like the path is a mystery, but it's so exciting. Here's the campsite where I stayed a year and a half ago with some of my friends on a section hike. And I see here there's actually a path to water right here, and we did not know about that. We definitely carried all of our water up from Neal Gap. I stayed at the hostel at Neal Gap last night at Mountain Crossings, and it is not the nicest hostel ever. It was kind of scary, actually, a little bit. It was pretty clean, but the bunk room actually seemed kind of like a dungeon. There were no windows. It did not smell nice in there, and there was exposed ducts in the ceiling. And most of the lights didn't work. It could be a nice hostel if they just did a few extra things to take care of it, just like fixing the lights, maybe putting a mini fridge. Thankfully, by God's grace, I'm so happy that this happened. They had actually oversold the room, or oversold the bunks. So there's one guy who came in later after me and didn't have a bunk. So I quickly volunteered to sleep in the common area. Sleeping in the common area was fine. It was pretty nice. I slept by the window in the area where the lights worked. And then the best part was this awesome church group came and brought us dinner out of the blue. If you're not planning on going into town, I would definitely recommend sending a resupply box because they had really, really expensive slim pickings. But they're very helpful there if you need anything. And they also have mail services, so I mailed some stuff home. Mainly, I would have just thrown everything in a hiking box, but I wanted to keep my camp shoes that I mailed home. So I just put that in a box and a few other things. And I'm starting to feel better. You know, I guess they say trail legs takes a few weeks, but I have improved legs already, usually. Wow. That's kind of cool.
Pretty neat. That's what I was doing. Yes, you can. You guys got this. Huh?
Yeah. Can you stop for lunch while
You're always going to just get everything.
Hurry up.
Oh, hello. I'm on YouTube. Don't worry, I won't get naked. So we can post this.
We all appreciate that. Thank you.
You guys are going to start having air quotes. I get it now. Things are just like, oh, that's an air quote. And I'm like, yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hog Pen Gap.
Oh, yeah, I should probably stay on the trail, shouldn't I?
I saw blazing a new trail over there. Here is the campsite that I stayed at the beginning of my last section hike half a year ago. And it's just after Hog Pen Gap. Looks like a village. Maybe it's like Woodstock or something.
That's what mine too. Hey, hippies! Hippies!
How's it under there?
It's awesome.
Looks amazing.
It is.
Good morning. Welcome to day 7. Yesterday started out pretty nice, and then, as forecasted by the weather, it started raining around 2:33, and I got to hike into the shelter in the rain. So everybody's kind of up and gone for this morning. There's still a few people wandering around here, but a lot of people have left already. It's like 9:15. I could not just get out of here and rush out in the cold, and my feet are sore and my fingers are sore and everything, so I just wanted to just take my time for a second before I put on wet clothes and get out of here. So something that's really cool about this is just being able to make all my own decisions. You know, whenever you're with a group, you kind of got to do what they will, what the group has decided they're gonna do, because you have to be somewhere by a certain time or whatever. Especially for a section hike, you at least have to be at the end by the time you're supposed to be there, if nothing else. But this, it's kind of nice to just wake up and realize, hey, I'm cold, it's warm in my sleeping bag, I'm gonna just wait a minute. After I find people that are gonna be my trampoline, I'm sure it'll be a little more of that again, although hopefully it'll be more like, okay, we're gonna camp at this shelter tonight, see you there. Or if, I just don't want to be rushing around on someone else's schedule, at least for a while. So I'm getting up the nerve to put on all of these wet clothes, my soaked through rain gear, my pretty wet merino wool pants, wet shorts, well, they're all kind of damp, at least they're not dripping. I have a different pair of socks, but they're also wet because I'd washed them. At least they're not muddy. Yeah, my head thing. But it's warming up a little, so it won't be as bad. And none of it's cotton, so it won't be cold. I mean, it'll still be kind of warm once it's on. It's about 45 degrees, I think, so I'm grateful it's not below freezing, because that would be really challenging. I also found out that the waterproofing system I had wasn't quite as waterproof as I thought. My dry bag, I have my sleeping bag and my sleeping bag liner in, did leak. I had this at the top, so this got wet and damp, but my sleeping bag stayed mostly dry, so I'm really grateful for that. Okay. Finally got my stuff out, got my wet clothes on. It's a beautiful morning. It's gonna be a good hike. I found that my even wet rain pants on top of wet wool base layer, whatever that is, leggings, is actually pretty warm even when it's wet. So also, I think when I next resupply, I'm gonna get some stuff I don't have to cook for breakfast, because just cooking and cleaning back out my pot and stuff takes a little extra time. It's kind of nice right now when it's really cold. Whew. Happy day! I still keep looking at this. I'm just so proud it's there. Ooh, let me make sure I'm worthy of the tag. Purr. Seems so nice and peaceful today. The morning after the rain. It's so beautiful. So I'm warming up some after starting walking. Glad I waited till it warmed up a little more outside too. What I'm gonna do is go to a shelter that a lot of the other people that I've been hiking around said they're going to. Blue Ridge Shelter, which is less than 8 miles from where I was. So it'll be a little of a calmer day than the 11 miles yesterday. And I've actually been there before and it's beautiful. When I was there last time, I had my tent facing the sunrise over the ridge, and it was breathtaking. So I think I'm gonna do that again. Once the leaves start growing on the trees, some of these views are going to be blocked. So I haven't had any blisters on the bottom of my feet, but I actually got one yesterday on the top right here, which is the first time. So I'm going to tape that up and it should be fine. And I also have a lot of pain, like in here. I guess it's the plantar fasciitis thing. I need to roll it on my bottle or something and just stretch better. I don't know. I could tape it, or I could just see if it just gets stronger and goes away. Let's see. My feet are pretty swollen. They were really swollen whenever I stopped at the hostel, but the swelling kind of goes down when I start hiking. But yeah, I usually have an ankle bone there, but it's not really visible at the moment. So I feel like I'm ready for a 0 day. Thought I'd show you how I'm going to do this, just in case you need to tape any blisters, especially since it's already broken. I'm going to use the method that my friend Jenny taught me with the liquid tape. So I cut some of it off and fold it in half, and I'm just going to put that over it so that, of course, it's not, well, it's a little sticky from being wrapped on itself, but it's not going to tear it off whenever, tear at the wound whenever I take it off. And then just take another bit and put it over it like so. Time for a snack. I got these off some Trail Magic yesterday, along with some granola bars and Snickers pieces and everything. We had Trail Magic twice yesterday. Yep, thank you so much, King Tut and your Trail Magic people, who are all set up with tons of snacks that hikers would want, first date stuff. They're giving lots of advice. Oh, and they had hot chocolate and coffee. It was nice. I'm looking forward to seeing King Tut and his crew at Trail Days. They said they'll be there. Hey, look, we're in a green tunnel. It's a little cool in this part, but it smells so fresh. The sky's so blue today. Walking on a ridge right now. Mountains on that side. Trail. Mountains on that side. Beautiful breeze. Oh my goodness, y'all. My hair got tangled in the rain yesterday and I could not get a brush through it. There wasn't any conditioner in the hostel where I stayed at Neil's Gap, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's never been so crazy. I wonder what people were talking about not being able to brush their hair on the trail. I guess if you leave it out, it gets nuts. Anyways, so it's about my favorite time of the afternoon right now, 4:30. The sun's kind of starting to set, and it's just, I like this time when it's not raining. I wasn't very thrilled at this time yesterday because it was pouring rain and soaking me everywhere. But today, it's lovely, and I have about 1.5 miles to get to the shelter I'm staying tonight. It's kind of uphill, but gradual to Blue Mountain Shelter, not Blue Ridge, Blue Mountain Shelter. In my regular life, everything's planned. Every time you meet up with someone, everything, but here, oh goodness, yeah, it might still be in there. Hold on. I don't know, I'm losing it. So in regular life, everything's always planned, you know, meet up at this time, this place, you know, months in advance, you plan a party. But here on the trail, just kind of all the plans don't really work the way you expect them to, which is what I was told about 15 million times before embarking on this. So I'm not surprised, but it's just a weird adjustment to not know who I'm going to be with and when and where I'm going and everything. So that's a new lesson I'm learning from the trail here. There's a ministry that I volunteer with at home that puts out a podcast, and I haven't listened to any of those since I've been here, since I've just been listening to books. So it's really great to hear that and hear some familiar voices after a week. You know, it's kind of weird. I've been here a week and I don't know, the bridge between my life I had then and where I am now just seems kind of far, you know, already. After just a week. I remember where I was, but it's so different from life as I know it now, trail life. And of course, life's going on without me. Here is the very rocky trail I'm wandering on right now. And it's actually easier on my feet than what I've been hiking on. It's kind of nice. A pot on a potter's wheel has to have a lot of work done to it before it can be ready to be used. First, the potter has to push in the center of the ball. I'm not a potter. To make it into even a pot at all. And then there's a lot more work after that to just keep pushing and prodding and shaping and sometimes with a lot of force to make the pot be something that it is supposed to be, something of use. And even after it's done, then the potter has to set it aside for a while to dry, and then the potter can put glaze on it and throw it into a kiln and cook at 1200, 2000, 2500, I don't know, degrees. And then, and in there, if you want any writing on it or designs, it has to be carved into the dried pot. There's so much that goes into making a pot that applies to life, really. And that's what this trip is for 2,200 miles, including trekking and stumbling and mountain goating over these cool rocks here. Wow. It's actually not too hard. All of this is for a purpose. And I'm a pot on a potter's wheel, and all of the trials and difficulties and rocks and sore feet and rain, and no pain, no rain, no main, all of these things are to form me into the vessel that can be used for future service, for future use. And it will be much better than it was the day I glopped onto the pavement in Atlanta on the airplane. So it's a lot, but I just have always thought of this journey as important for that. So that's a podcast I'm listening to, is talking about this, but it's so fitting for this part of the trail right here. Yeah. The things of this world will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace. Look at this. beautiful. That's a trail. I made it to the water. That's 0.1 miles up the hill to the shelter. Very clear memories here of filtering with a friend. He hung his platypus filter thing, gravity filter, from this sign, and I took a picture of it, and I think it looks like a cross. Whoa! After loading up on water, I get to navigate this steep hill all the way up to the shelter. At least it's not long. And now I don't have to collect water tonight. Yay.
I wanted to camp here because I couldn't go any further.
So pretty.